After flooding rains and storms yesterday, we are tracking the potential for more storms throughout the day. This is a live look over downtown Columbus. Boy, oh boy, it is so muggy outside. Another hot and humid day across the area. Now look at this video from early this morning. This is Groveport Road and Rager Road in Canal Winchester. You can see a car nearly submerged in the floodwaters. Luckily, that driver was able to get out safely, but it's definitely a reminder when the floodwaters are high, turn around, don't drown. Phil Kelly's here right now. And Phil, there's a chance we could see even more heavy rain later on today.
Yeah, unfortunately. I don't think it's going to be as widespread as what we saw over the weekend, where a lot of us got that heavy rain.
It was terrible.
Yeah, the Clippers couldn't play Saturday or Sunday.
Oh, boy.
Crew were delayed for their game, and a lot of festivals, things like that, had to cut short.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when it came down, it meant business, and we got a lot of flooding with that, especially on Saturday evening. Where did we get the most? Well, it was in the southeastern corner there of Franklin County and right across the northern part of Fairfield County. A lot. This is just in the last 48 hours. So you can see a lot of yellow. That would be 1 to 2 inches of rain. A lot of orange also. That's up to 3. Anywhere where we got some red, a lot of red here from Springfield back through Madison County, a lot of Franklin County, parts here of Licking County, also parts of Licking County that got less than an inch. So these storms were very, very intense when they came through. And you can see this pocket here. This is where we got a lot of flooding between Groveport, Pickerington, south of Bloom, between Lancaster and Baltimore, out here into Rushville. Anywhere from 5 to 6 inches was reported in this area. So that's where we're seeing the worst of the flooding. But even an inch or two, we got a little bit of localized flooding. Here comes some of that rain from Indiana. It is starting to weaken. That's good news, but I do think as we get into the heat of the day, probably start to reignite, and we'll see some of these heavier downpours. We're seeing some showers right now, northern part of Delaware County into Union County, Marion County. You're seeing a little bit of rain there between Delaware and Waldo. Temperatures, this is our other story. Your D.R. Horton, America's Builder, current conditions, low to mid 80s, but it feels so much warmer than that. It's very sticky outside. 96 is what it feels like in Marion, 94 Mount Gilead, 93 in Lancaster, 90 here in Columbus. You get the idea. It is going to be a hot and muggy day. We'll top out near 90. It'll feel like it's into the upper 90s for the afternoon. Some of that scattered rain as well. I think tomorrow is looking drier, but it's going to be even hotter. We'll talk about that, plus tracking a cool down later this week coming up in the 7-day forecast.
Well, people across Fairfield County are in cleanup mode after flash floods slammed the community last night. Aaron Simonek has been on the ground there all morning long into the afternoon. Aaron, how are things looking right now?
Hi, Terry. Good afternoon to you. As you just said, we've scanned all of Fairfield County this morning. And here in Lancaster, off of Sater Drive, this apartment complex behind me is the hardest hit going into our Monday. You can see crews continuing to use sump pumps to try and rid the water and move it to a nearby creek. We want to show you some of that video that we got earlier around town. Water levels continue to go down here and throughout a lot of different flooding scenes in the area. Just within the last hour, the city of Lancaster showing up with even more pumps to try and get that water out. Neighbors have lived in this area for 30 plus years. They tell us that they've never seen flooding of this magnitude before. We've learned dozens of families from this specific apartment complex were evacuated, whether that means going to a relative or loved one's home or staying at the YMCA through the American Red Cross assistance. Now, we've also seen crews clearing debris from Ohio University Lancaster campus. That's where Saturday's festival goers were evacuated. The local Kroger and Fairfield Medical Center are just two businesses that had to close their doors for a short time because of the flooding. We spoke with one family about just how bad this flooding got. Take a listen.
Oh, it's going to be a lot. I mean, first you can't even get in here with a vehicle. So, fortunately it didn't get into the apartment. The apartment itself is high enough off the ground, but you can't get anything out of there if you wanted to. We don't know about the vehicle, people that have to go to work, and I mean, it's going to be frustrating.
And the EMA continuing to assess that damage into this Monday afternoon. Once again, the YMCA is hosting those who have been displaced. That is through efforts of the American Red Cross. We do have team coverage on this. Our Kirsten Lindquist is picking up from here, continuing to follow the impact of these floods here in Fairfield County. For now, reporting from Lancaster, Aaron Simonek, ABC6 News. Terry.